This video captures the Yucatec Mayan medicine that Aurora Garcia Saqui has devoted her life to preserve the Maya medicine of the Belizean jungle. And I wanted to start out by just quoting a passage in the Maya herbal medicine book. The Creator created humans, and they started to wonder if they were alone on the earth, and if they had the power and knowledge they needed to survive on earth. They said we are all weak and we don't have power. So the jaguar came and said, "I will give you my power and strength." They said, "What will I do when I get sick?" And the snake came and said, "I will give you the knowledge of the plants." And that is how we got the knowledge of the plants. There was a lady who wanted to learn about the plants, the knowledge about herbal medicine, sewing, embroidery, and measuring. We know this lady as Ish-Chal, the goddess of medicine and childbirth. She consulted an elder who recommended that she had to get ready for that, to fast and do ceremonies for several days until she was ready to get the knowledge. When the elder thought she was ready, they took her to the nest of the leafcutter ants. She had to dance around the hole 9 times, clockwise and counterclockwise, singing and doing all the enchantments. She was told that when she did that, the father of the serpents would emerge from that hole. That serpent, when it appeared, it would be the Ochkan, the one that doesn't bite, the boa constrictor. She would be licked all over her body from head to toe by this snake, and then he would lay down on the ground, and she was told to copy the patterns on the skin of the boa constrictor and other snakes by embroidering counted needle thread. That is where she got the knowledge of healing, weaving, embroidery, sewing, and any architectural or other measuring. She took the power of midwifery, sewing, healing, and measuring. This is how we believe it came to happen. This legend was told to Aurora by her mother, who heard it from her father. It is my daughter and I's intention that this video blesses you with a deeper connection to your plant allies through indigenous wisdom. This is beautiful.
And these are several things that we use culturally.
Oh, wow.
The metates are grinding racks. This is our food processor. We grind corn there to make our tortillas. We grind cacao for the drink. We also can grind condiments. Some of these metates are also used only for ceremonies and so on. Don't eat anything else. We just eat corn and maybe a cup of tea all the time, especially if we are going to do diet. We can't eat anything. That's what we eat. Only corn and tortillas.
That's what I noticed.
Tortillas and a cup of tea.
Oh
That's
my
all.
gosh.
That's healing. Corn is healing. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't use any chemicals to grow it. Not even fertilizers, you know.
And it's the pure non-GMO'd corn.
Yes, it is the local seed too.
Oh,
this
wow.
tree here, this is what we call the allspice. We can make one of the best tea with this leaf here. If you smell it.
Oh my
You
gosh.
see it?
It
And
is.
if you chew it, it makes your teeth numb. Because it's good for toothache. Yes, and then if you drink the tea, it's good for your stomach. It's good for deworms, it's good for colic pains, for digestive system problems, to improve your digestive system. Then we drink this tea. You can get.
Wow.
And then the berries, you can get them in your favorite supermarket. We also do soups with this leaf. This other shrub here is what we call the jackass bitters. You see, it has 3 points. They call it mano de lagarto, which is an
Yes.
alligator food.
Oh.
Or the jackass bitters, they call it locally. Many Belizeans, this is one of their favorite plant because they can drink it and they can put it in your skin. This is our anti-malaria tablet. Yes, and also the anti-dengue. Yes, and then this is one of the many ingredients that I put in my repellent because it's so bitter. When the mosquitoes come and land in my skin, they don't like it, so they go away. Yes.
Oh, yes, yes.
So this is this one here. If we want to keep ourselves strong, healthy for the whole year, even cancer-free, you drink this tea here once a year. Easiest to drink it with a pill than for you to make the tea, because when you taste the tea, you don't want to drink it. It's so bitter. But This
It's
is
a
a
little
nut. Yes, this is
nut.
edible the way it is right now, fresh. You can put it in salads. You can also put it like in your cake. Uh-huh. But the way we use this is that we extract an oil, and the oil is called moon oil.
What do you use it
This
for?
is for cooking, or it's a healing oil. You can put it in salads like olive oil. But you know that how this is one of the best oil I can ever think about, because this heals your stomach. If you have problems with your stomach, digestive problems again, or maybe if you have ulcers, like sore in your guts, that would heal it. Yes, and so this one here, we use it also for the skin, for repelling.
Okay.
repellent, and then for the hair, for making it shiny, and then to retain the color of your hair. Big and bunch there. And when it gets ripe, it drops on the ground, and we leave it for a few weeks to dry, and that is when we are going to crack it and make it for use it to making the soup. I heard of the palm for food, vegetarian food, very nice. It tastes like meat. And so besides that, you see the palm,
Yeah.
the leaves, we can build our thatch buildings with it. It can last up to 9 years, and it can sustain a category 2 hurricane. You see, when they weave it, they have a certain way how to weave it. See? They weave it like this, because you see these little things have a gutter,
Yes.
so it throws the water outside and not inside the house.
Oh my
You
gosh.
see it?
I see what
The
you're
little gutter?
saying. So it's almost like this little V acts like a gutter, so the water rushes down
Outside of the house.
through it.
It's one of our many antibiotics. No, this is a very good one, because this removes tumors, cysts, and also growths like growths in your body.
Yes.
And also, if you have problem with your womb or any venereal disease, this is what we use for it.
Wow.
Like also fibers in your womb, infections, tumors, and so on. So even for rashes, you can drink this, and it purifies your system so that you don't get allergy. If you're always allergic to something, maybe pollen, maybe something that you eat, you need to purify your system, and so this is what we use for it. Wow. This is one of the best plant that you can get, but it grows into a big tree. So what we use is the bark, and then the handful, the dose of a mild plant like this one would be 1 handful for 1 liter of water, because that is how we measure. In the ancient times, we didn't have cup, we didn't have tablespoons or teaspoons or inches or whatever. We measure by hand. We will be learning about is the pipers. In this garden here, it's a 4-acre garden. We have over 8 species of pipers. And the reason why they call it the pipers is because they are piperaceae, or like mint, refreshing, cooling. So when you chew it, it makes your mouth numb too. Teeth for your gum. If you have bleeding gum, inflamed gum, that will heal it. And also it makes your teeth without decay. Plant here is high. We have to get the smaller plants around so that we can harvest them, So when we are ready to use it, we go and look for the smaller plants. You see all these leaves here, they almost look all alike. So you have to really know what you're doing, because you don't want to make a mistake. See?
Yeah, I bet.
And then if you smell it, it has like a minty like a mint flavor. If you chew it, then you notice it. This refreshes your mouth.
Yeah.
So with this one, I make one of the best
It's not bad.
mouthwash. It protects your teeth from decay.
And it heals your gums too?
Yes, heal your gum.
Wow.
Then remember when I tell you it numbs it? Now this is good for pain because of that. And for inflammations. So with this plant here, I make one of the best treatment for inflammation and pain.
Wow.
This is a gel. This is a gel.
Smells like a eucalyptus almost.
And this is the ointment.
Oh yeah.
So this is good for your skin too. This is good for your skin.
Yeah, you can see that. That's so nice.
So I would say that one is cold and one is hot. This is for the night and this is for the day. This is cooling and then this is hot.
Oh yeah.
But if you have like bulbs like this, nodes, it removes it. Dissolve it.
Like these little guys.
It dissolves it. This one.
I noticed that almost the stem part of it is more potent, and then the leaf is very, but it doesn't taste bad. It's just cooling. You're right.
You can chew it, you can gulp it, or you can spit it out.
Yeah.
It will not kill you. And so you know that
You
how
can tell it's very, very mild.
with our older people, with our older grandmothers and grandfathers, they know how to heal themselves when they have knee problem. I understand that when the tourists come, they say that they have to replace their kneecaps. We don't have those services in Belize yet. So our ancestors, you know, they die walking, they never have a problem with their knee, because as soon as they start to have a problem, then they know what to do with it.
Yeah, they take care of it right away.
Yes.
Don't wait.
Yes, and then they never
Replace.
have to replace their kneecaps.
Wow.
So this is one way of preventing for you to get worse. Yes,
It's a sacred tree.
this is one of our sacred trees. Besides the ceiba, you know. This is where our incense come from. You see this tree here? This is a young tree, though we go looking for the bigger tree, the bigger, you know, like adult trees. So what we do is that we tap it and then we collect it. It hardens like a gum, but the aroma is
Yeah.
high, very very high. This is pure.
See, I love it, and it's
Uh-huh.
still moist. It's not hard.
Yes, because it's fresh.
Oh,
The
I
more
love
the
that.
more you keep it, the harder it gets, and eventually turn into amber.
Yeah, this is what we in the States. Whenever we have it, it's hard.
Oh yes, because
Yeah.
you can't get it fresh.
So it's almost like
Uh-huh.
it's such a treat to see it
Uh-huh.
soft. And I was like, oh, saw how much copal. I was like, oh, this is like heaven. Like, you know,
Yes.
the fresh copal.
Yes, this is where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And the copal, you can use it for aromatherapy. You can use it for yoga. You can use it for smudging. This is one of the
Yeah.
most important gifts we can give for the gods. We burn it for the connection of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can do healing with it, especially if somebody is like traumatized or maybe getting crazy, depression, sadness, anger. That's when you are going to smudge them with it, and even with contaminants.
Oh my
That is how
God.
we remove it. With this copal, I do the oil and I do the soap with it, so that you can bathe with it. It's faster to use when you bathe with it.
Oh, so what does the oil do? Or what
The
do you?
oil is for your energy points.
Okay.
It cleanses, it brings in good energy, and also it protects you. These berries here, the birds, you know, like the birds, the parrots are the ones who come and eat it when it's green like this. They are getting ready to get ripe, but this come from that tree there, which is the tamarind. This is an edible fruiting tree. So what we do with this is that we can pick it and then we can make a juice out of it. It's sour, but when it gets ripe, it becomes brown. But if you taste it, it has vitamin in here. It has vitamin C.
Okay.
It's not good. But how we use this plant too is that we eat we drink the bark. We cut a piece and then we boil it, and then we can drink it like an everyday tea. Now this other plant here is what we call the philodendron. I understand that how some of you would grow them as house plants.
Yeah, but a lot of people grow as houseplants. I've never seen one this big.
But this one here, we can make one of the best treatment for fungus infection or anything on your skin that is hard to heal. Maybe leishmaniasis. We can use it for ringworms, for fungus infection, and cirrhosis and things like that. With this plant here, I combine some of the different species together, and I can make one of the best tincture and soup. And I understand after getting more, you know, involved in healing, that even the Western doctors don't have a cure for it.
Gosh.
Okay, so these fruits here are only something that we use to show how we can do acupunctures. Like for example, these needles here comes from this tree here. This is a palm that we call the wari palm in the local language, but in the scientific name is called Bactris mexicana. And this plant here is a dangerous plant, so we are not going to use it for drinking like medicine and so on, but we use it as a tool. The tool that we use it for is the acupuncture. You see this? It's a big plant
Yes.
that we can use it for acupuncture.
Oh, that's
This
amazing.
is one of the many plants that we can use from the forest.
Can I just
Besides
touch the
this,
top?
yeah, be careful. Now,
Oh, yeah, that is
besides-
sharp.
Besides using this one, we also can use the porcupine spines or the stingrays for acupuncture. Recommend somebody, you know, like my patient, if they have, you know, that type of problem that they should need an acupuncture. That's when I would recommend it for them.
Sure.
And then one of the problems that they would have, maybe migraine headaches, maybe facial paralysis or strokes. That is when we would use the acupuncture. See how much
It's so
liquid it
hard
comes.
too. Oh my gosh. Look at
You know
that.
what fruit is this?
No?
It's a glue tree, from the glue tree. So this is glue. This is glue right here.
Really?
Yes, it hardens more than the glue that you can get from the
Oh,
shops.
yeah, you can feel it.
When it gets dry, it gets sticky.
Really sticky.
Okay, so this other plant here is what we call the komoche. We are talking about this shrub here. See, this shrub here. This is where this repellent come from. My repellent, the natural repellent, because of the smell. That is where the name came from. Komoche means the stinking plant.
Okay.
So if you smell it, you tell me if it stinks or it has a high scent on it.
Just a high scent. You know, but I would, if I was a bug, I really wouldn't mess with
Yes,
it.
because it stinks, you know. We believe it stinks. So what happens is that when the locals go to the forest, they just squeeze it and then they just put it all over their body. And that keeps the flies away. The other plant that they use for survival is this one here. We call it the water vine. What we are talking about is the vine that is on the ground.
Wow.
This is one of the many species that we have. We have at least 4 species that I know of water vine. So when the locals go to the forest, they get thirsty, they run out of water. They don't go looking for a river, they go look for the vine. Cut a piece, and you have to know how to harvest it too. Because if you don't know how to harvest it, you lose the water instead of collecting it. The water going down, it goes up. So what they do is that they cut it, and then they would put it in their water bottles, or they would put it into their mouths, and then they would drink from there. And then a vine has enough water to quench a thirsty person in the jungle. Then it has a lot of electrolytes that keeps you going stronger. Okay, so this other one here is what we call the negrito in Spanish. Negrito is what we use for dysentery. When the Spaniards came to the Americas, they were dying with this dysentery. So what they did is that they cut some of this bark and then they brew it for them, like they boil it, and then they give it for them. A lot of them died, but a lot of them still survive. And then besides using it for dysentery, you can also use it for hemorrhages. A person, you know, or a lady is having menopause, so that is when she would drink it. Or, you know, if she's having a childbirth, or maybe somebody cut themselves and they start to bleed. But this tree also bears a fruit that is edible, so it's like an olive plant. Fruits drop on the ground, we can collect it, it's edible. It's like a blackberry, the fruits. And then we eat it. And then the seed also produces an oil that is like olive oil. We do ceremonies, water ceremony, yes, Thanksgiving ceremony. So my children decided to paint all the trees because they say it's resembling the Ishchel or the goddess of medicine, which is named after the rain god. Because Ish is woman, Chel is rainbow. Most of the plants we don't have them there in their scientific name or the English names, but we all have them in Maya names.
Okay.
All of the plants we call them in Maya. So this one here is called Ishtukulil because Ishtukulil means worries, anxiety, stress, or sadness. So what does that really is telling you is that this plant here is good for depressing. This is our antidepressant plant. So what we do with it, we can drink it as a tea or we can bathe with it. Bathe with the plant.
Okay.
And that is a symbol of washing out your problems too. So that's how we use it. But I make oils with it for massage, or the holistic one. I have this plant inside, or a soap, to the herbal soap, so that you can. It would be easier for you to use. You know, it's like a piece of sponge or rough.
Yeah.
That is what the ladies use in the river for their brush. Instead of getting a scrubbing brush, they use this leaf to brush their clothes with, and it makes soap. So with this leaf, we can make soap. Now this one here is what we call trumpet tree. The trumpet tree, they call it like that because inside is hollow. It's hollow as a bamboo. So with this plant here, I usually do an oil.
Okay.
That is very good for deafness or any ear problems that you have. It could be wax ear, water in your ears, infections, and so on. And so what the elders do is that as soon as they get into the problem by hearing, then they start to use the oil of this plant here. And that's why they grow old and they never have problem with their ears. They roll it and they smoke it, and it's like any tobacco.
Oh my gosh.
It's mild and it has a mint flavor. and what it's doing for you is that it's helping you get rid of your addiction of smoking. You're rid of the addiction.